This is the Toward a New World podcast with your host, Corinna Stoffel. As a space for all things regarding the global, collective transition we are in, we have conversations about transition, separation, and connection regarding oneself, others, and the earth. The aim is to educate, empower, and inspire. Hello and welcome to today's show called Is Imperfection Okay? And that is coming from a perfectionist who's trying to let go of my perfectionist tendencies. And that started totally imperfect because I had to delete my initial start. I accidentally hit the wrong button and things went haywire. So this is right on target, it seems. Following the energy yesterday got away from me, and in the afternoon, I still did have no idea what I was going to talk about. I had no notes jotted down, even just bullet points. I don't script the podcast, but I write down some ideas that I have. So normally, in the past, I would have said, okay, just skip that particular episode. And then usually skipping that one led to skipping the next one and the next one. And then I didn't have several weeks skipped, and then I didn't want to restart. So I decided, yes, it doesn't matter what, I will have today's podcast, and we'll see what I'm going to talk about. And in the late afternoon, it then came, what if you talk about imperfection? Yeah, something I really like to talk about. And I had to laugh, I am so aware of what is going on for me. This is when I opened up and got ready for the broadcast. Oh, there was a hair sticking out, and there was this wrong. And can I make life more difficult? That is one of the nice side effects of trying to be a perfectionist. Is that something you want to do? Is that something you choose? So improvisation for me yesterday was not okay. Why? Yeah, if you improvise, you can't be perfect. You need to script better the podcast. And I'm not even following that, as I said. But what happened yesterday, it was following the energy. I said, so who said that improvisation is not okay? Yeah. What if improvisation is okay? What if improvisation is following the energy and actually putting out what is needed in the moment? And what if my life, to some extent, is about me, but not just about me? What if how I live my life can be an example for others that they choose to follow or not follow, whatever their choice? But it's the question that I have been sitting with lately, even not just yesterday, it's been going on for a few weeks, is what does that need to be perfect come from? And to be upfront, I have not found an answer yet, a definitive answer, and I have come across a few ideas. So, starting with childhood, parents seem to expect perfection. And what does that mean? They see, at least from my parents, I know that they expected that I would act as they expected me to act. Uh, and it's not because of meanness or anything, it's more because they have a picture of this is what is required to fit into society, and therefore they want to raise the kid so they will eventually fit into society when they leave the home, when they get older. So, how much has where does society come up with ideas of what is perfect? And one thing that I saw was how much is the beauty industry telling us what is perfect? How much is the, not just from a facial, but from a whole physical perspective? You know, yet there is a lawsuit going on about someone shaming their dancers. Uh, and I look at that and say, God, what's going on? If I look at history, how much has the ideal, the physical body ideal, changed over time? There was Rubens with the voluptuous, rounded woman. There was Twiggy. There is what we have right now, whatever we want to call it. And it'll change again. So it's just something that is made up, but it's not a reality, or it's not a truth with a capital T. Rather, it is reality, what is right now. Fashion industry, you know, what are the correct sizes? Again, tied to the beauty ideal. But there is also the aspect of we need you to buy some new fashion because we need to create more. We need to have GPD. We, it's just last year's fashion is no longer okay. So, what does that have to do with perfection? Absolutely nothing. And who comes up with perfection? If you have a business, success is perfection. You need to be successful. And what defines success? You need to make, if I look at what is out there and what I'm being presented with on different social platforms and communities, six-figure income, then you can start talking about success. Anything less than that, forget that. Who made that a definition? Does it matter how much I make? Does it matter how much I climb the corporate ladder? Because success equals happiness? Is that true? Are you truly happier if you are successful? Or are you pretending to be happier because that is what society, your surrounding energy field prescribes, that success equals happiness. Hmm. What is your definition of success? What is your definition of happiness? What is required for either one to be in place? Is it even possible to be perfect? I look at living in the US, and philosophically, usually Europe, at least Western Europe, is pretty close in the ideas. There is a certain idea of what success and happiness and perfection means. But you go to Asia, you go to India, you go to Australia, and you have different definitions of what perfection means. Where does that come from? Is it just a cultural definition? Could be. Does religion play a part in the definition of perfection? That we need to please the God, the gods, whatever the religion is? Where does that come from? I have to admit, as I said in the beginning, I don't have a solution, a definitive answer, and I seriously doubt that I will ever come up with a definitive answer, because I think there is so many things that flow into it that are that we're not even conscious of. And so I will continue to ask questions just because my curiosity is piqued now. And I want, as I said, I want to change my perfectionistic tendencies because it will make life a little bit easier if imperfection is okay. So I have the question for you. Is it okay not to be perfect, to be imperfect? And I really would love if you let me know in the comment section of what your thoughts are. Can we start a conversation about that? What is possible in that regard? Where is perfection and where is it not? And what are the effects of the tendencies to be perfect? Thank you. Bye bye until